this is really similar. And if this isn't a perfect way to prep, then it's like the next best thing to it. Team Rivalry is going live. That's right, join us for the special edition live stream of the Ohio State Buckeyes versus the Missouri Tigers in the Cotton Bowl on December 29th. Or don't, it's a free country. Now on to the show.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Michigan Chatter on Team Rivalry. I am Cliff, and with me, as always, is Mac. Mac, how you doing?
I'm good. Doing all right.
Good.
Yeah.
We are the channel that likes to make football fun again by making fun of football on occasion. Sometimes we talk serious. Like now, we're going to talk serious because we're talking Alabama versus Michigan in the Rose Bowl, and we're looking at an article called Michigan Might Have the Perfect Way to Prep for Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe being the starting quarterback for Alabama, known to be quick on his feet. This article comes from the Wolverine Digest. Sorry, I forgot where I was going there. This article comes from this article. This article comes from the Wolverine Digest. It is by Brandon Brown. And he says, Michigan is actually favored over Alabama in the Rose Bowl, but most people see the game as anyone's contest. One major reason why Alabama will certainly have a chance in the game is because of quarterback Jalen Milroe. The 6'2", 220-pounder is the catalyst. Yeah, he is the catalyst for Alabama's offense because of his ability to extend plays, run the ball, either by design or on a broken play. Lucky for Michigan, there's a secret weapon on the roster who can emulate Milroe to a T, Alex Orji. Now, why would they immediately jump to Alex Orji as the way to beat Jalen Milroe? What about J.J. McCarthy?
So I believe because Alex Orji has a more similar, he's a lot more like Jalen Milroe. His build, I believe his build is a lot more like Jalen Milroe. So Jalen Milroe, right. I think somewhere in this article it says that Jalen Milroe and Alex Orji are actually both built more like running backs. They're both really tall for running backs, so it doesn't quite work. But like in terms of like their speed and stockiness, and then just overall physical ability, like Orji is a really is a lot like Milroe in that sort of way, especially when he's running. He's got that speed. He's got a lot of physicality to him. I think I just said like the same time. Wow, I just said the same thing like 3 times and then had a stroke and died. Anyway, they have the same build.
Yeah, it's right there in the next paragraph. Michigan's version of Milroe goes 6'3", 236 and runs like a deer.
Runs like a deer. What does that mean?
That'd be like a small deer, I guess, yeah. We didn't see him much in 23, but he did carry it a few times and showed off his elite athleticism. Yeah, he had a couple of big breakout plays that has him looking like Milroe on a daily basis for the scout team. Veteran defensive lineman Chris Jenkins explained how valuable Orji is in Wolverines' preparation. All right, so here's our first quote. It definitely gets a lot of conditioning for us, Jenkins said with a chuckle, because he's laughing. He's nervous. He's quick. He's a quick boy, so we think he's definitely given us a good look and has prepped us to come ready to turn on the burners when we play on January 1st. According to Jenkins, Orji has really embraced the role of simulating Milroe and thinks it'll only help Michigan's young quarterback moving forward.
Yeah, so I'm looking up.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to understand that sentence. Orji is simulating Milroe. He's trying to play like Milroe.
Yeah.
And that's going to help Michigan going forward. That makes sense.
So I'm looking something up here real quick. Jalen Milroe, so he's on the season, he's got 140 carries for 468 yards for a 3.3 average. His longest run is a 53-yarder, and he's got 12 touchdowns on the ground. So that's all right. So that's him. But I'm kind of curious what J.J. McCarthy is, because I don't think he's done like basically any running this year apart from a couple of times scrambling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he's only got 146 yards on the ground. And that's why J.J. McCarthy is not a good stand-in for Jalen Milroe.
All right.
It's because he is not using his legs in the same way that Jalen Milroe is, but Alex Orji can.
All right. I like this next part. He's a freak of nature, Jenkins said of Orji. You just see how much effort he puts in the weight room. You see how jacked he is. He's really like a freak of nature. So I guess Jenkins is saying he's a freak of nature.
He's a freak of nature.
Now I got the Penguins line running through my head. You know what? I reject nature. Something deep down inside of me says it's not right at all. Every single day he comes in with the mindset of being the best player, the best version of himself. You see that every single day. He's going to continue to do great things from this point. He's an athlete. Complete props to him.
Yeah, so like all of this kind of makes me feel like Michigan's got their quarterback for next season.
Yeah, if McCarthy doesn't come back, because McCarthy's, well, I guess he hasn't said. He said he's just thinking about Alabama right now. He's not thinking about anything else.
Yeah, which I get. But like, and I have seen something, or I've seen stuff that has said that McCarthy is expected to come back. But I don't know. I mean, he would probably benefit from one more year, especially because he played like the last 3 games of this season injured. So he'd probably benefit from another year to increase his draft stock a little bit. But if he doesn't come back and Michigan doesn't land a quarterback through the portal, which I know a lot of people were hoping for Dante Moore, I wasn't. I'm glad that he went to Oregon. They can have him. But like if Michigan doesn't land a transfer portal quarterback, then they can I think Alex Orji would probably step in pretty well. And then they've already got Jaden Davis, the recruit coming in the 2024 class, so he'll be the quarterback of the future. So honestly, I think they're kind of set at quarterback.
Yeah. Well, we should find out tomorrow's signing day, so we should find out if they're getting anybody through the portal or not as far as quarterbacks go.
Yeah, that's true.
Last paragraph here, both Milroe and Orji are built more like running backs than quarterbacks, so that's what you were talking about earlier, and have legitimate breakaway speed as well. It's always hard to prepare for mobile quarterbacks because of the sheer unknown on each play. But Orji might legitimately be the best comp to Milroe in the country, which is a huge plus for the Wolverines as they prepare for Nick Saban and his Crimson Tide.
You know what we should have looked up before this? We should have looked up like their 40-yard dashes or something like that, just to see how fast they compare.
Do it now. We can cut. So, Mac, what would be the 40-yard dash for Jalen Milroe?
Okay, so Jaylen, wait, didn't you just say you had Jalen Milroe at, okay, so 4.64 seconds. Okay, so that's pretty fast. And then Alex Orji
4.6
is... Yeah, and then Alex Orji is 4.73. So Jalen Milroe is actually slightly slower. Faster. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, Orji is slightly slower.
Yes.
But as far as the perfect way to prep for Jalen Milroe, then what do you think? Is Alex Orji, does that match up? Is he the perfect way to prep by putting him in there as a stand-in?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, so like that's his 40 coming out of high school. So he's probably a lot faster now. But yeah, I mean, he's got the right build. He's the same kind of quarterbacks. He's got the same kind of quarterbacking style. He's got some arm strength to him, but not necessarily accuracy. So, I don't know that, like, I think Jalen Milroe is a really good downfield passer, but I don't know that he's like good in short. Maybe I'm wrong, but I believe the knock on Jalen Milroe was that he wasn't as good in like short to medium passes. I think he wasn't as accurate, but he's got a phenomenal downfield arm. So that kind of speaks to the power, which Alex Orji absolutely has. So they have a lot of similarities in that regard, but then also the fact that they're both incredibly mobile quarterbacks. They're both very, very fast. Yeah, I mean, this is really similar. And if this isn't a perfect way to prep, then it's like the next best thing to it.
Actually, yeah, that's one of the things I saw as the comparison stats for Alabama and Michigan is that Jalen Milroe can get those long balls, so he can get the big chunk plays. JJ McCarthy and the Michigan offense can get the short runs, but they can do it like a bullet run. They can do one after another and get down the field with those short runs. So the matchup is, do the multiple short runs get you to where the long ball gets you? The difference being that the short runs are more reliable than the long balls because you need time to get guys downfield to do the long ball. And if Michigan's defense can break through Alabama's O-line, they're just not going to get that chance.
No, they're also low percentage plays.
Right.
I mean, when you're throwing the ball that far, like you gotta have, you gotta have good touch on it. I mean, obviously you can put the ball in a place where the receiver can then go and get it. But I don't know that that's as big of a window as many people think it is. I mean, I think Alabama's got the receivers, and the receivers have the athleticism to be able to do stuff like that, and pretty consistently at that. So I'm not necessarily worried that Alabama wouldn't be able to do something like that, but I don't know that it's as sustainable, like what you're saying. I don't know that it's as sustainable as the nickel and diming you over the middle and, off to the sides and stuff like that Harbaugh likes to run, especially with the tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm honestly going to be interested to see if Michigan, I know we're getting a little off topic here, but if Michigan can get the wide receivers going,
yep,
because then it'll be really interesting to watch JJ McCarthy, a dual threat quarterback, who I think is still sort of a pass first quarterback. Watch his style of play versus Jalen Milroe, who is a dual threat quarterback, but more of a run first.
Now, I know we're going to get a lot of comments on laughing about JJ McCarthy being a pass first quarterback when he hardly threw it at all in the last 3 games.
Yeah. But they didn't ever run quarterback designed runs.
Right.
Like I can count on one hand the amount of times I remember seeing a quarterback design run for JJ this year.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a reason for it. I'm sure it's all part of the strategy, and obviously they won the games. So I don't know what the complaint would be. But I don't know. All right, that's going to do it for us on the ways that Michigan can go up against Jalen Milroe. Thank you for watching. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. The Rose Bowl is coming up. Mac, you got anything else?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Have fun. Make football fun again. Wow, I almost forgot our own hashtag. Make football fun again. That's what you need to do. Mac, take us out.
This is Michigan Chatter on Big Ten Team Rivalry.
Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend watching football. Have fun watching football. Remember, hashtag make football fun again. If you like what you saw, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. This is Big Ten Team Rivalry.